Well, we have a special treat for you guys tonight. We've had him here before. He's hilarious, a stand-up comedian. He's local from Anchorage. But can you guys give a huge ACF welcome for Mr. Brett Rawalt? Come on now.
Cool. Is there a dress? Were we supposed to dress up? I didn't get that. Hi. Yes, really glad to be here again. It's I was here at a similar event 2 years ago at this church, and Mason actually texted me and wanted to know if I wanted to do it again. I said, yeah, that was a lot of fun. However, he did want to know, do I have new material? He didn't want to hear like old jokes or whatever. I was like, do you know how old I am? Like, all my jokes are old jokes. Seriously, like I'm about to turn 50. My body is completely falling apart. Okay? It's not a good thing. However, it is a pretty good source of comedy, so like I have so much new material going on that I'm frankly pretty concerned about my general health. And Mason texted back, dude, that's awesome, can't wait to see the show. But seriously, like turning 50, my birthday is next week. So I could literally keel over at any moment. I'm glad you guys thought that was funny. 50 is not really an age that I ever really aspired to be. You know, when I was growing up, I didn't go, man, I can't wait till I'm middle-aged. I'm gonna have so many pills and supplements. Like I'm gonna need a super duper fancy Tupperware distributor thing just to keep it all straight. It's gonna be tight, yo. Now, about the only positive thing that I can think of about turning 50 is that I feel like I'm approaching the threshold of where people will now ask me for advice. And I feel like that would be fun. I would enjoy that. I haven't had a lot of people asking me for advice for some reason. I feel like maybe the lack of beard is a part of that. Like if I had a beard, I would appear more wise, I think. I am greatly distressed at my complete inability to grow a beard at age 49 and 7/8. Like people are like, you just need to be patient, let it fill in. I'm like, you don't get it. Like, I haven't shaved my face in several months. This is my beard. This is it. No, but I really want to do advice, and I want to give good advice. Okay, I feel like you need to be prepared for that. You can't just make stuff up. You have to, because I'm thinking like, I want to give good advice. I want to help people, right? So I've decided that I don't think I'm going to try and be inspirational. I just don't think that's my lane. I don't think I can really pull that off. I'm not going to spout off stuff about perseverance and things like that. For one, like that's, it's helpful maybe, but it's too general. Like everybody already knows that stuff. And I don't want to be like weird. Like I'm not going to say like, I think people from Nome should be called gnomes. Like, I think that's a great idea. I'm 100% behind it, but I don't think that helps people. Right? It's specific, but it's not useful. It's basically just a random opinion. Now, I want to say stuff like, do not buy a black car at night. See, like, that's specific and useful. It's practical advice, I think. And when people hear that, I feel like they're going to infer that that actually happened. Because it did. And it didn't go well. I was a young man, I needed a car, I saw an ad in the classifieds. I don't have time to explain to you young people what a newspaper is. But anyway, like, I couldn't get over there until after work, and he was a nice guy, and it seemed like a good deal, so I bought the car. Even though in the darkness, I could not perceive how crooked the car was. Like, it didn't drive like this. No, it drove like this. Like, it was severely messed up. You heard some cars, they have like full-time four-wheel drive. This car had like full-time Tokyo Drift. I couldn't sell it for anything, and so I gave it to my brother because he thought he could sell it. And then he couldn't sell it, and he still has it. His kids named it Scoey, short for scoliosis. So that's kind of advice. Would it be okay if I gave you guys some advice? I'm grossly generalizing here, but I feel like this could apply to a number of you. Here's my advice. If you're a Christian, if you're a follower of Jesus, then you should probably never Google anything. Like, ever. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm sure, like, it's just like a completely benign thing that you're researching, and that your motives are completely pure, but it doesn't matter because the internet is 97% disgusting. Okay, maybe you're remodeling your home and you're thinking, we need a new ceiling fan, and you're thinking, we should research ceiling fans, and so you do a Google image search of ceiling fans. What's wrong with that? Well, some point in time, somewhere in the world, somebody probably used a ceiling fan as a murder weapon. Okay, and the crime scene photos, that's going to be the first thing that pops up. And you can't unsee that. It's in there forever. Okay? So that's just good advice there. Like, it's like searching for stuff on the internet is basically like trying to find dinner in a dumpster. Okay, is there food in that dumpster? Absolutely, but 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be at or near the bottom. Okay, so don't Google stuff. How am I doing, Mason? Okay. Mason and I, we get along because we're both musicians. I like to write music and play and record music, and I recently wrote a new song from the viewpoint of a drum set. It's called Ow, 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 Stop It, Stop It. That was kind of a dad joke, I think. Being a comedian at my age, like, is kind of tricky, because, like, I don't know which of my jokes are the dad jokes. Like, I'm not trying to write dad jokes, but I'm a dad, and they just kind of happen. Like, I'm thinking, that's hilarious, and then you try it, and then everybody's like, oh. I was like, oh, okay, that was not as good as you thought. I'm just going to grab a chair here. Hope that's okay. I know it's called stand-up, but my back hurts. Now that's a dad joke. See? All the women are shaking their heads because they know their husbands are going to be like, that dad joke dude was awesome. Okay, can we talk about football? I know it's not football season, but it's getting more difficult at my age to watch football now because all the ads are targeted at me. Have you noticed this? Advertisers have figured out that NFL games provide an audience with the highest possible concentration of middle-aged dudes. Like, just look at the commercials. They're all beer and trucks and little blue pills. And I noticed this, and it's difficult for me to comprehend this because I am now a middle-aged dude. It took me a long time to admit that, but okay, here I am. I'm on the team, and frankly, I take exception with these ads because I've never drank beer, I've never owned a truck, and I don't need any of those pills. What these pharmaceutical companies think is the problem is not really the problem. Okay, I can see that some of you are concerned about where I'm going with this. It's like, I'm not interested in those pills. Those are not for me. What I would be interested in, what I think would be applicable, what would be helpful for people in my situation, I think they should make pills to make short, middle-aged dudes like attractive to single ladies. Like, that's a real need. Those pills, I would buy a lot of them. Functionality is not the problem. Desirability is the problem. The problem's not below the belt. The problem is everything north of the belt. I will tell you this though, like, dating when you're middle-aged is a whole different ballgame. It's really different. Like, it used to all be about how attractive you were and your flirting skills. Now I got ladies just walking up to me and straight up asking me about my insurance plan. They're like, do you have Blue Cross? What's your deductible? 1,500? Oh, I'm not interested. Bye-bye. Almost there. We're doing good. You need insurance now because medical costs are completely ridiculous. I had a back surgery about 1.5 years ago, so I get it. I do. Did you know that in the hospital, they have a spaceship? I don't think they knew that. No, for real, they call it an MRI machine, but it's basically it's a flying saucer with a tube in it, and the tube is just big enough for a person, and then it spins around. The saucer spins around them, and they put you in this tube, and you have to stay completely still for like 40 minutes. Okay, and you know, it's very, you can't move. You're not allowed to move because it will crash the spaceship. But two, like, you physically can't move. Like, I could barely fit in the tube. I think there's two kinds of people in the world. There's people who are claustrophobic, and then there's people who have never had an MRI. Those are the two. 40 minutes is a long time to be stuck in a tube and you can just think, and your brain comes up with a lot of interesting questions. And I'm in there, and I'm going, do they have different sizes of MRI machines? Like for fatter people? And if so, like what size am I in? And I'm trying to remember if when they checked me in, they said, yeah, take this one to the mothership. When my 40 minutes was up, like I told the technician, like, well, now I know how toothpaste feels. Okay, so like my biggest complaint here about all this is like, you know, all the advances in medical technology, all the money that they spent on their spaceships, and yet how is it that no one, not one person has bothered to try and improve upon the basic hospital gown? It's still just as completely worthless as ever. It's the most ridiculous piece of clothing I've ever seen. Is it comfortable? No. Is it easy to put on? Nope. Does it at least cover your booty? Not at all. It doesn't even try. Okay, well, speaking of big endings, that was mine. And anyway, thank you.